Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Brandon here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Daniel, and he's selling his Amazon Associates and affiliate business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Daniel, and how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Yeah, it's really great to have you on the call and talk to you about this business you've created. But before we go into the details on this business and what you've done with it over the years, let's give a general overview. So it is an Amazon Associates and affiliate business in the sports niche, and it was created in September 2011. The average monthly revenue for the business is $5,509 and makes an average of $5,044 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit the Empire Flippers marketplace and search for listing 50022 to learn more about this business, or you can unlock this listing and start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. Now that I've given a general overview of the business, what's included with the sale is the domain and all site content and files, an email list with over 356 subscribers that are stored in ActiveCampaign, and social media profiles for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Tumblr, Vimeo, and not to forget, Google+. So, Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Absolutely. So I studied music at university, and then after graduating, my main website was running with helping people to read and write music. So that's how I got involved with running websites. So I would help my students, I'd provide them worksheets and guides and stuff like that. And then eventually got a bit bored of that, so started branching out into some other niches and stumbled across this one, which I bought last June 2019. That's how I got started and hooked to it now.
Oh, that's really great. It's awesome. I also do come from somewhat of a music background, and I played saxophone in middle school as well. So I'm familiar with reading music and then that industry in general, I guess. But so, you started off in the music industry, you moved over into the online business space in the sports niche. Why choose this specific business model? Was there something that stood out to you over, say, going with like an Amazon FBA or some other type of monetization? Yeah,
absolutely. So I did have a local physical business where we provided entertainment like bands and DJs and stuff. And I sold out of that company and then wanted to start something that was more remote and less admin heavy. So yeah, that's why I looked at FBA originally. This would have been back in 2017. But yeah, in the end, I wanted to go down the content and SEO kind of marketing route, as that was a bit more interesting for me. So that's how I stumbled into running affiliate sites and digital products and stuff like that.
No, it's great that you already have that background, and obviously this business model really fit your skill or your core skill set. So that's great that you went with what was working. Now, the business is doing really great at this time, just from looking at the numbers for this in revenue and traffic. So Daniel, tell us, why is it that you decided you want to sell this business at this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if anyone's ever sold a website, it's always a bit of a tricky decision to make of when to sell and if to sell. For me, I think my music site has always been my main focus. And so I want to focus more on that is the main reason I'm selling. And this one has, as you said, has done well on traffic and growth over the last 6 months. So I think it reached the stage I want to hand it on to someone else who can take it to the next level. And then I can use some of the revenue to put back into my other sites.
Yeah, that's a very common answer. And we do get this as well from many sellers on this call that we have, wanting to roll the capital gain into a bigger passion project, if you will. Now, rolling these things into these other projects, was there anything that you learned while building or growing this business that you plan on applying to your future businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was the first website that I purchased. The rest I started from scratch. So yeah, I've learned a lot about auditing a site, and then the importance of content and links. Yeah, as you can see from the traffic and revenue, this one has done well from more content and more links. So I've definitely learned a lot, which I'll be taking back into my other projects from running this one.
Yeah, that's really great to see. And you were able to kind of tread these waters and figure out what is working as well over the time you've owned this business. That's great to see. Now, was there anything that you tried with this business and it just didn't give you the ROI that you were expecting?
It's a good question. most of the things I tried, actually, they did work. It just took time. I think that was the main thing. Because when I first purchased the website, the previous owner had been into the sport that it's about and had written some stuff, but he wasn't necessarily a writer. So I think I learned how to rewrite it. That took a long time. And I didn't necessarily see the fruit of that for probably 6 to 8 months was when it started to really kick in. So I think, time helped a lot. Yeah. So most of the effort that I put in and the things that I tried, it didn't happen as quickly as I wanted it to.
And I guess that's kind of the nature of SEO in general, right? You know, you put in a lot of effort and it takes Google a while for their bots to scrape this and start ranking accordingly. So yeah, I guess that comes with the nature of the beast in general with SEO. So tell us, Dan, where does a majority of your traffic come from then? Is most of it coming from organic search? Are you doing any type of paid advertising or any other direct sources that are coming to the website itself?
Yeah, so most of it, I'd say over 90% is from Google, so organic. And then, as you mentioned, it's got a YouTube property and a few other social media platforms that it has, which gets a very small amount, but a few percent come from that. So the previous owner had actually made some reviews of using some of the products, and those actually rank quite well on YouTube. So bring a bit of traffic and sales, but yeah, the majority is Google organic.
Got it. Now, are you doing anything else in terms of marketing with like your email list, or are you doing any hard social pushing with posts on social media channels, or is the majority of stuff coming in through SEO in general?
Yeah, so the majority is SEO, as we said. Okay. My expertise is not at all paid ads or email marketing. It does have an email list that I've set up at the end of last year. So it's got a lead magnet that I've written just for like tips. It's got about, I think now it must be close to 400 subscribers. So yeah, high 300s. Yeah, people are definitely interested in being on email list. It's not my expertise, so I haven't managed to monetize it as well as it needs to be.
Yeah, well, that's a great opportunity for a buyer that might be looking at this listing and already has that skill or that core skill set. They could come in and explore that option further if they choose. So that's great to see. Now, hypothetically speaking, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways that you would personally try and grow it as of right now?
Absolutely, yeah. So this has been what I've been wrestling with for the last few months when deciding to sell I would love to add a lot more informational content. At the moment, it does have a lot of info content on it, but I'd say it's a little heavier towards the reviews and the best type articles than I'd like. So yeah, I'd definitely explore adding a lot more informational content. The main thing that I would love to have done is, and if I don't sell it, this is probably what I will keep it and do, is I'll find an influencer in the sport and try and partner with them to create a lot more YouTube content. I see a very big avenue for traffic and sales as well, potentially, reviewing products and then also maybe even doing a course for this sport, but it doesn't convert very well at the moment, and it was very dated. So I think it was filmed in the 90s and on cassettes. There's a big opportunity there for someone to come in and revamp that and do it really well. So that's what I would be looking at for the next buyer or to grow in the future.
Yeah, no, that's some solid key takeaways there. Plenty of room to expand. And as you had mentioned with social and YouTube, I mean, always growing and more people resorting to video content now, especially for these content businesses. I mean, that's a great option or an opportunity right there alone in itself for a buyer to explore as well, too. So that's really great to see. So tell us, is there any specific skill set that a buyer should have prior to taking over this business? Or do you feel most of the general workload that you're performing on the business at this time can be handled with an easy transition period?
Yeah, absolutely. It's remarkably easy to run. I genuinely don't spend more than an hour a week on it at the moment, and haven't for a good few months, actually, probably nearly 6 months, where I don't touch it. I just check on quite often. The product has done very well during the COVID pandemic, and so quite often the products are going out of stock, which is a good problem to have. But,
that's definitely a good issue to have for sure. Yeah,
that's the main thing I'll be doing, is checking that they're still in stock, and then if they're out of stock, swapping them for a different product. That's my main thing that I keep an eye on, and then just checking guest posts and looking for new products that are coming out. So it's very easy to run. A lot of the content I've outsourced as well. I've written most of it, but some of the other stuff I started to outsource. So if writing isn't your thing, then there's a lot of people who can write about this as well. But yeah, it's very easy to run it.
Okay, so you are outsourcing some of the written content, then not writing everything yourself. So anyone that might not even have a background with writing content, they could still possibly come in here and still manage the business completely without having that skill, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't actually play this sport, but I've learned a lot about it. It's a very easy sport.
Okay, that's a solid point to bring up. And again, it's something that I'm sure buyers are always interested to learn about, just to make sure that the transition period won't be something that requires a skill that they might not have. So that's good to see. Now, what do you feel are maybe some of the potential risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the main two risks that I've tried to set it up in the best way to avoid are Google update. Obviously, Google is out of our hands and how they rank the site. That's the main risk. And then the second risk would be the affiliate platforms that I promote it to, obviously Amazon, and then the non-Amazon products. Obviously, they can change their affiliate commissions that they use or can remove their affiliate program altogether. So that's been my main thing, trying to navigate that. And up until April this year, it was solely on Amazon Associates. So I've been looking for other affiliates to promote. And as you can see by the numbers, it's done very well, with now 50% of its revenue coming from another non-Amazon. So I'd look to try and find some new non-Amazon affiliates to promote. And then, I would definitely consider going down more on the YouTube and maybe Pinterest and some of the social media platforms, and email as well, just to lower that risk from Google changing its mind about who's on top.
Right. That's a really interesting point that you bring up. I'm glad you brought this up as well, too, saying that you have over 50% now as affiliate income not coming directly from Amazon, correct?
Yeah, I think just shy of 50%, 49, 48, I think.
And is that affiliate revenue, is that coming from one affiliate network, or do you have a couple different affiliate networks in your niche?
Yeah, so there's one main one, so I think that's the majority of it. And then there's three others actually that I've been exploring. I would definitely spend a lot more time working on growing the revenue for those, and then finding even more. Another thing that I'd probably look to do as well to increase the revenue is try and reach out to brands directly and see if do a better commission rate than Amazon does. So negotiating with them directly maybe would be another thing. I know there are a lot of brands in this niche that have e-commerce platforms themselves. So I'd reach out to some of those and try and create a partnership with them.
Yeah, no, that's a really great opportunity, especially get away from what Amazon is becoming the giant. Of course, you want to diversify your revenue streams as much as possible. Absolutely. So it's great that you've already kind of established and done the research on what these other affiliate network possibilities could be for a buyer moving forward. So that's really awesome to see. Now, Daniel, are you willing to commit to a non-compete, meaning any other businesses you end up going into down the road, you'll stay out of this specific niche?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't be back in that, which is hard because I really like this niche. Right. I would love to get back into this niche, but no, absolutely would be willing to sign a non-compete for this.
Perfect. That's great to hear. And then how much support are you willing to offer potential buyers? Are you going with the typical 30 days of email and Skype support, or did you have something in addition that you would like to add on to that?
Yeah, whatever is standard, I'm happy to offer if they need anything in 30 days. But then if something comes up later as well, just email me. I love talking about this sort of thing. And yeah, so whatever they need.
No, it's really great to hear. And I'm sure, any buyers looking at this business can see the value and the support you're willing to offer them as well, too, and help ease their mind on going with this acquisition. So that's really great. Now, are you open to negotiating something like an earnout where you'll receive a large portion of the sales price up front and then smaller payments closing out the deals several months after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll be willing to talk about any sort of earnout like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone would prefer cash up front, but yeah, we live in a real world, so willing to negotiate on that as well too.
Yeah, I'm sure buyers are also going to take that into consideration if it's something that you are open to negotiating. So that's great. Now, just a few, additional off-topic questions for you to wrap this up. What advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
Good question. Yeah, content and links. I think I said it already before, but yeah, I wish I had focused on those a lot sooner. I think I was a little bit worried about how the site looks a bit too much at the beginning when as I'm sure other people building these sort of things are, they focus a little bit on the look, but then I've realized it doesn't matter at all. And it's all about the content and the links and the intent as well. So how you're writing and what sort of keywords you're targeting. So I wish I'd done that sooner and really, really zoned in on those things.
Yeah, no, it's an important thing. And I'm a victim of it as well, too, where I get the shiny object syndrome and I want everything to look pretty and everything has to be in its place. But yeah, no, you bring up a solid point, just getting the content out there, making sure that you're building the content around their search intent. That's really where you would get the best results. So yeah, completely agree with you on that one. Now, why do you think that this business model is great for those who are just getting started in online business over, let's say, going with like an e-commerce store?
Yeah, that's why I still every day wake up and love affiliate marketing, because there's no customers. Having worked with customers is a wonderful thing to get paid and not have to deal with them. So I think that's great entry-level business is an affiliate site or a content site with monetized with ads or affiliate sort of thing, because you don't have any of that headache, and so you can just focus on learning how it works, and then slowly you could add a drop shipping product to it as well, or you could create your own digital product as well, but you can slowly kind of stair-step it up as you grow your knowledge and your expertise around running websites. So I think I'd recommend everyone who's getting into this start with a content-based website or business before trying out some of the other FBA and e-commerce.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Getting your feet wet and your hands dirty, I guess you could say, with one of these content businesses really will help you to set you up for any issues you might have with some of the other models down the road, which might be a little bit more tech savvy or tech heavy on that end, I guess. Awesome. Perfect. Well, that pretty much wraps up the call. Final question for you, Daniel. Based on your business, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think that your business is worth buying?
Why do I think it's worth buying? One, a lot of the growth that it's had has been in the last probably 6 months. So the valuation is based on the last 12 months as well. So, for example, last January, which currently the site is priced on, it's already earned that by the 4th of this month. Yeah, there's a lot of room there on the price. And then also, I think I've left off adding ads to the site. So I think that would be a quick win to increase the revenue almost overnight by adding some ads to the info content. I think as well, the links that I've been building to it are just starting to come on as well. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot of benefit from that. And then there's a lot of untapped keywords that I haven't done. And then as well as the YouTube avenue worth exploring, I think even though this has seen a lot of growth recently, I think there's still a lot more upside to capture. And so, I am reluctantly selling it.
Yeah. I mean, with this list of all of these great opportunities, I'm sure a buyer is just waiting to get on the call with you now. So no, that's really great to see. Yeah, no, that's perfect. And I'm sure, any buyers that are looking at this listing, they can also see the value and everything that you've set up, optimized for this business and set them up for success. It's a great opportunity, I'm sure, for anyone that's looking at it. And that pretty much wraps up this call. Was there anything else that you'd like to add that I might have missed that you'd like to touch base on, Daniel?
Oh, no, I think you covered it all there, Brandon. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was perfect. Thank you for coming on and, telling us a little bit about your story and, how you started and grew this business to what it is. And I'm sure it'll be sold here on our marketplace in the near future.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, thank you so much. And all right, everyone. So thanks for listening. To learn more and to see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 50022. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.